All right, you ready for this? Get this. We are diving into ancient mysteries and secret societies with a modern twist. Have you ever heard of a mystery school online that says it comes from Atlantis?
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to unpack today
Okay.
with the Odyssey of WaXhira, founder and grandmaster of the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood.
A modern-day mystery school connected to Atlantis. That's a wild claim.
It is. It is. So who is this WaXhira? What's this brotherhood all about? And could there actually be a connection to the lost city?
Right.
First, let's look at WaXhira's journey. I mean, this is anything but ordinary.
It is like out of a book, honestly. Decades. Continents. It all starts in Kenya, but quickly goes everywhere else. Deep dives into the major religions, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism. But he wasn't trying to convert. It was more like he was trying to extract the core wisdom from each.
Right. It's like he was putting together a giant spiritual puzzle, looking for those universal truths, the ones that connect us all. And get this, from Christianity, he took the idea of radical love and forgiveness. Like that's the path to inner peace. And from Judaism, he took this idea that you should question sacred texts. Don't just blindly accept them.
So fascinating. He combines all these different traditions together. Like, from Buddhism, he used mindfulness and meditation techniques. And from Hinduism, the concept of karma and reincarnation. And it wasn't just surface level, he lived it. Years in monasteries and ashrams.
Wow. Talk about dedication. This wasn't just reading books. He was living the life.
Yeah.
And the document says that it wasn't just for him. You know what I mean? He believed that he was actually uncovering a path to enlightenment for everyone,
Right.
for the individual in the whole world.
And that brings us to the Brotherhood. WaXhira saw something missing. People were looking for meaning, connections, something more than just, the everyday. So he created a sanctuary, a place for self-discovery, a place for spiritual growth.
He named it the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood. I mean, he really went for it, invoking the legend of Atlantis. But before we get too far into thinking this is a real-life Aquaman situation, I have to say that most historians and archaeologists think Atlantis is just a myth.
Yeah, there's really no proof.
Right.
But Atlantis does represent something, like a lost golden age of wisdom, of a super advanced civilization. That's what WaXhira is tapping into, this idea that hidden knowledge can be found again, and the Brotherhood has the key.
It's smart marketing. Combine ancient mysteries with a lost civilization. Makes a really good story, especially for people who are looking for something more.
And here's where things get interesting, especially for podcast people like us.
Yeah.
He didn't build a temple or a monastery. He went digital. Online mystery school.
No dusty robes and secret handshakes. It's all online courses and webinars and meetings. Ancient wisdom for anyone with the internet.
Pretty clever. He breaks past any location limits and the normal barriers to entry. You don't have to travel. You don't need to commit years to training in person. You can do it all from home.
Which is perfect for our listeners, people who want to learn efficiently, effectively, from anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So how do you create that sense of the sacred in the digital world? I mean, is it even possible? Can you really achieve profound spiritual growth through a screen?
That's the big question. Can pixels and algorithms really give you a life-changing experience?
It really makes you think.
It does. WaXhira seems to think that the digital realm can be sacred too. It's not about copying a physical space, but about having the right mindset, intention, energy.
So it's more about what's going on inside than the outside, but what does that look like in practice? I mean, what are these online rituals like?
Well, the document doesn't get into details, but it does give us some ideas, like guided meditations, powerful visualizations, using ancient symbols and archetypes. Imagine a journey, going through a digital temple with WaXhira's voice guiding you.
That's really cool, like a spiritual video game. And with the tech we have today, they could use VR to make it feel totally real.
Exactly. Imagine putting on a VR headset and you're suddenly in Atlantis, surrounded by other members of the Brotherhood. All over the globe, you could meditate together, do energy work, even virtual ceremonies, all in this shared digital space.
That's a whole new level of connection, going beyond physical limits. But does it have the same impact as in-person rituals?
That's the debate, right?
Yeah.
Traditional schools are all about secrecy, initiation, being exclusive. Hard to copy that online where everything's out in the open and anyone can join.
Maybe that's what WaXhira wants to change, He seems to be against all that elitism and exclusivity. He wants to make ancient wisdom open to everyone.
It is very different from tradition. He wants a kind of spirituality that is more open, more accessible, something that uses technology and works for the modern world.
Makes you wonder if this is the future of spiritual seeking. Are we moving away from those old institutions and towards online communities instead?
It could be. Think about it. The internet has changed everything. How we connect, how we do business, how we learn. Why not spirituality too?
Makes sense. But let's get back to the teachings. We've talked about WaXhira's unique blend of wisdom from around the world, his focus on unity and self-realization. But what are the core ideas behind the Brotherhood? What does self-realization actually mean here?
That's where things get a little vague. The document focuses more on WaXhira's journey and his ideas than the specifics of how he does things. But we can see some key things, like he talks about how important it is to recognize our interconnectedness, that we are all part of something bigger.
So it's not just about you growing as a person, but understanding your place in the universe.
Exactly. He says that through self-awareness and self-acceptance, we can tap into this universal consciousness, and then we can reach a state of deep peace and fulfillment.
Sounds a lot like the concept of enlightenment in Eastern traditions.
Yeah.
But how do you actually develop that level of self-awareness? What do people in the Brotherhood do?
Judging by WaXhira's past and the hints in the document, it seems like it's a mix of things. Meditation is probably a big part of it, using techniques from different traditions. He also talks about energy work, which could be things like Reiki or Qigong. It's all about balancing and using your body's energy.
He also mentioned elaborate rituals. Now I'm curious, what could those be like online?
Hard to say for sure. The document emphasizes creating a sacred space online. So these rituals are probably meant to build connection, community, and transcendence. Picture this, a virtual gathering, guided visualizations, chanting, maybe even symbolic movements, all designed to create a shared experience, with energy.
It's amazing to think how technology can be used to create these new kinds of rituals. But it also raises questions. Can you really achieve the same depth and meaning virtually? Do you lose something when you translate it to the digital world?
We'll explore those questions in the final part of our deep dive. We'll shift our focus from WaXhira to the community he's created. What are people saying about the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood? Are there any skeptics or critics? And most importantly, are people actually finding what they're looking for spiritually through this online platform? Stay tuned.
It's like you think about spirituality and you think of these old traditions, right?
Yeah.
Monasteries hidden away, places where people have been doing rituals for hundreds of years.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you make that feeling, that sacredness, how do you get that online?
Yeah, that's a good question. Can you even do it? Can a screen really help you grow profoundly grow?
Yeah, it's a real challenge. Can pixels and algorithms actually change your life?
Right.
It's something to think about. But WaXhira seems to think it is possible that the digital world can be a sacred space too. It's not about exactly copying a physical space. It's about cultivating, having the right mindset,
Right.
the right intention, the right energy. I see. So it's not about the outside stuff. It's about the change happening inside you. But how do you do that? What do these online rituals look like?
Well, the document, it doesn't really give us a lot of details, but there are some hints. They might use guided meditations with strong visuals, like drawing on ancient symbols. Imagine you're on a journey through a digital temple, and you hear WaXhira's voice guiding you.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Like a video game, but for your spirit.
Yeah.
And with all the technology we have now, they could even use VR to make it really immersive, right?
Exactly. Put on the headset and boom, you're in Atlantis with other members of the Brotherhood from all over. Group meditations, energy work, even virtual ceremonies, all together in this digital space.
Whoa. That's next level, breaking past all the physical stuff.
Yeah.
But does it really have the same, I don't know, weight as real in-person rituals?
Yeah, that's the big question, right? The traditional mystery schools, they have all those secrets, initiation rites, you have to be chosen. It's hard to do that online when anyone can join, right? Information is everywhere.
Maybe that's what WaXhira wants to change, though. He doesn't like all that elitism. He wants to share this ancient wisdom with everybody.
That's definitely different. He wants a more inclusive way to approach spirituality, one that works with technology. Something for the modern world.
So is this the future of spirituality then? Are we moving away from, churches and temples and all that towards online communities?
It's possible. The internet has already changed so much.
Yeah.
How we talk to each other, how we do business, how we learn things.
Why not spirituality too?
Yeah. That makes sense. But let's get back to the teachings themselves. We've talked about WaXhira's mix of wisdom from all these different places, his focus on unity and self-realization.
Right.
But what are the main principles of the Brotherhood? What does self-realization actually mean in this context?
The document gets a little fuzzy here.
It's more about WaXhira's journey and what he believes in than the specifics of how he does it. But there are some clues. He talks about how important it is to understand that we are all connected, like we're all part of something bigger.
So it's not just about growing as a person, but about seeing how you fit in with the whole universe.
Exactly. He's really big on this idea that through self-awareness and accepting yourself, we can tap into this universal consciousness. And that's how we can find deep peace and fulfillment.
It sounds a lot like the idea of enlightenment, like
Mhm.
in Buddhism and Hinduism.
Yeah.
But how do you actually get to that level of self-awareness? What do the members of the Brotherhood, what do they do?
Based on what we know about WaXhira and the hints in the document, it seems like they use a lot of different things. Meditation's probably a big one with techniques from all these different traditions.
Right, right.
He also mentions energy work, like maybe Reiki or Qigong, which focus on balancing and using your body's energy.
He also mentioned these rituals. And I'm really curious about those. What could they be like online?
It's hard to say for sure, but the document does say a lot about creating a sacred space online. So these rituals are probably designed to help people feel connected, like they belong, like they're transcending something. Imagine like a virtual meeting where everyone's doing guided visualizations or chanting together or maybe even moving in symbolic ways.
Mm.
It's all planned to create a shared experience, one that involves uh, energy.
It's really amazing how technology can be used to make these new kinds of rituals, but it also makes you wonder, can you really get the same depth of experience, the same meaning online?
Right.
Is there something lost when you go digital?
Those are some questions we'll explore more in the last part of our deep dive. We're going to shift our focus away from just WaXhira and look at the community he's built. What are people saying about the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood? Are there people who are skeptical? Are there critics? And most importantly, are people actually finding what they're looking for spiritually through this online platform? Stay tuned.
So we've heard WaXhira's story, and we've looked at his digital mystery school, but now it's time to talk about the elephant in the room.
Right. Does this actually work?
Yeah, does the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood actually live up to all the hype? Are people really changing spiritually by doing these online things?
A good story and fancy technology, that's only part of it. What really matters is, are people's lives getting better? Are they seeing real benefits?
Yeah, like, think about it. You wouldn't buy something just based on what the company says.
Right.
You'd want to see reviews, hear from other people who used it.
Exactly. We need to hear what the members of the Brotherhood are saying. What's their experience been like? How have these teachings affected their lives? Are they finding that connection, that purpose that WaXhira talks about?
And we should also think about any downsides. Are there people who are skeptical or critics
Yeah.
who have concerns about doing this online? The lack of face-to-face interaction. Or maybe they worry about misinformation or even manipulation.
Yeah, for sure. Every spiritual path has its dangers, and online communities are no different. We have to think about the risks, like echo chambers, or how can you be sure things are real online? And who keeps people accountable in a virtual space?
It's like any online community. You have to be careful, think critically, be aware of biases. And this is where you, the listener, come in.
This deep dive is just the beginning. It's meant to make you curious, give you some knowledge to go explore more, so you can decide for yourself what you think.
If this whole Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood thing has got you interested, don't stop here. Go beyond WaXhira's story. Do your own research. Check out online forums, read reviews, look for different opinions. See if this path fits with your own spiritual journey.
And don't just focus on this one group. There are tons of spiritual communities online. They offer all kinds of teachings and practices. Virtual meditation groups, online yoga, forums where you can talk about ancient wisdom. So many resources.
It's a great time to be searching for spiritual growth. Technology has opened up so many possibilities,
Yeah.
connecting people all over the world, breaking down barriers.
But even though it's easier to access these things now, you still have to be smart about it. Don't believe everything you see online. Question things. Explore. Find what really speaks to you personally.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Sacred Atlantean Brotherhood, we want to leave you with one last question to think about.
What does it mean that spirituality is moving online? Are we looking for new ways to connect, to find meaning, to feel like we're part of something bigger?
And if so, can technology really help us have those deep, life-changing experiences that people used to associate with ancient practices and sacred places?
Those are good questions to think about as we navigate this new world of online spirituality. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Keep searching, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.